Hi there. I've talked a lot about visionary leaders and out-of-the-box thinking and these kinds of words. And, to a certain extent, some of these words can become a little jargony. And it's true that we live in probably the peak of the personal development industry, period. We've never seen so much focus in this as we do right now. And of course, coming out of COVID and the pandemic and Black Lives Matter and all these different movements and trends that are sort of circulating throughout our society and our economy, not only here in America, but also worldwide, well, there tends to be a lot of jargon that comes out of this. And, people say things a lot like out of the box thinking or, beyond borders. It's, part of my slogan. But, what exactly does that mean? And who is it that I'm really speaking to when I'm talking about that? I think all of us know that there's a lot of changes that have been going on in the world around us today. Recent Bureau of Labor statistics, that point to over 4.5 million people who have left the workforce are really, really powerful statistics. And if you dive into those a little bit more, you can kind of see what industries are being affected, and it's really services industries and healthcare, but management and project management, finance, all these different industries are actually all being affected, maybe to a lesser degree than we see, for example, in the services industries or healthcare, but nonetheless, they're all affected. Polls and different surveys have begun to show that some of the reasons include things like just plain job dissatisfaction. Workers no longer like the kinds of conditions that they're working inside of. It's real easy to start to judge people, and I hear a lot of this. You can see a lot of it in the airwaves, but to make these judgmental statements like, oh, those people just don't want to work. Well, maybe it's actually that there's been such a profound shift in our society because of COVID and other challenges that what's happening is that people are beginning to rethink their lives. And actually, it's exactly what we want because people are more engaged in their lives. The problem is they don't really have the support to know what to do with these questions. What do I really want to do? And when I talk about people, I really mean individuals and organizations. When I was a little kid, I was trained in that song. It's here's the church and here is the steeple. Open the door and there's all the people. And take out the church piece of it, and really it's a beautiful example of how the church or an organization or a community is made up of, people. And so whether you're an individual or an organization, the same thing applies. And so, I really like to work with visionary leaders, visionary companies and individuals who are interested in doing high impact work. Now, by virtue of saying high impact work or visionary, I'm actually speaking to people who are willing to challenge the status quo. That's these very people that are a part of the Great Resignation. So I wonder, have you experienced this yearning or this need to sort of change the landscape of your life, to see what new borders, what new horizons that you can actually overcome or go in quest of? And I think that there's a lot of us that are in that boat. And so, how do you know that you're willing to do that? Well, there's an inside component and then there's this outside component. For organizations, the inside component is really about asking themselves, what is the environment like? Are you, as a visionary leader of an organization, are you willing to be open in your communication with your employees? Are you willing to explore and discover? Exploration and discovery can be a little frightening because you're going into a space that wasn't there, that you didn't know about or you weren't familiar with before. The other thing is about adaptation. How adaptive are you? I think what we're seeing today is just that there's such a tremendous challenge or confrontation going on with the way we've been doing business. Restaurants, the healthcare industry, all these industries are seeing some severe problems. Sure, they don't have the staff there. Well, maybe what's happening is that they're actually being called into a new way of doing business. And so as a visionary leader or a visionary organization, are you willing to challenge the status quo internal to yourself and to the organization that you lead. And then there's the outside component as well. If you're client focused, if you have like services or products that you're selling, are you listening to your client? Are you watching these trends unfold? Are you seeing the values that your clients are beginning to express in the purchasing decisions that they're making, in their satisfaction with you as a company? And are you willing to be able to create an adaptive environment that begins to address what your clients actually need? Are you daring enough to bring a challenging spirit? Because there's a lot of things that we all want to change about the world. I see this as wonderful because people are really engaged like never before. And yes, sometimes it can look a little negative and frustrating, but this is such a powerful moment. And so, is your organization or are you as an individual looking to make a difference, to elevate the experience of human lives, to improve our well-being here on this planet? And are you willing to take the risk to fail? So these are ways that visionary leaders and visionary organizations can demonstrate their willingness to challenge the status quo. If this resonates with you, I invite you to reach out to me. Are you a company? Are you an organization? Are you a community that's looking to make a difference? Are you looking to get beyond the old ways of doing things? Do you accept the challenge that to evolve we must change? Then give me a call. Let's see how we can make a difference with your life without borders. Thank you.